Welcome back to the 3-Star Academy. We find ourselves here in August CWL on day 5. As you can see, we did pull off a perfect war, so appreciate the effort. We only had 2 defenses, so did need the majority of those perfect attacks. Let's jump into the first one by myself. We have Hydra. Has been a couple of days since I did this. Real life stuff came up, so that's the reason for the delay. We have Queen Giant Arrow to start. We do have the Stun Blaster on the Duke for this attack instead of the backpack as I normally do. Went through the plan with the team and we were a little bit worried about the candle right there just ripping through my Duke. So Stun offered a little bit of protection. I'm not sure exactly if it was needed. I do carry 2 freezes with me. So I don't know if it necessarily would have been an issue, as well as the Phoenix, right? I'm not sure if that candle was going to be too big of a problem for me there on the top side. But anyways, kept it safe, went with the Stun Blaster. And as you can see, we have a little bit of a split that occurred, both to the north. We have some troops up there and to the south, which is my original path that I wanted for everything. Overall, though, fairly smooth, easy attack, and we'll see the minion prince ability coming here shortly for the Rage Tower, although it has already been triggered, so it's not necessarily too concerning here. We'll have the freeze for the Fire Spitter and the multi come through. There is the minion prince ability, and I felt fairly good. I didn't use the overgrowth. There really wasn't a spot for it on this base, but I wanted to keep it just in case things got out of hand, depending on what happened with the candle. So we do have that hidden Tesla up there, creating a little bit of a delay and moving on to the next one, but here we go. So base number 2, we have Monster. Monster uses Hydra as well. Fairly short replay in 1.5 minutes or so. So expecting to see a pretty well executed attack. We have the backpack as well as the giant arrow coming through. Army dump in the middle and between. Fairly consistent if you are following the standard Hydra approach. We'll see what the overgrowth targets are. He does have 2 of them. We do have 2 back-end Rage Towers, so that I'm sure comes in pretty useful. Although with the amount of time left in the replay, it will be interesting to see if he uses both of them. Warden ability coming through the Fire Spitters, the way that they were pointed were really a non-factor because the army was able to go in the middle of them without really any problem. So we do have the first overgrowth come down for that left side Rage compartment. We have everything bunched up there near the town hall, dealing with the Guardian as well as the enemy heroes. It's looking fairly crushed as I expected from the amount of time that was on this specific replay. Second overgrowth does not come in. He swags the spells, and this one is GG's. Okay, moving on to the next attack. Base 3, we have Nero. Nero with a Hydra attack as well. Lining up the backpack. Did get both air defenses, very nice. We'll see what the giant arrow target is. He didn't get any additional air defenses, but I think his primary targets were sweeper related, so We have everything going down right at the town hall. A totem comes in. Those raged up fire spitters can do a lot of damage if you do not keep an eye on them. He would use the warden ability. There it is. I would assume. This does look pretty familiar. I think a lot of the bases I remember from this CWL are kind of in this format where we have the town hall at roughly 1 to 2 o'clock and those fire spitters pointing at each other with the rage tower. So very interesting to see how the base design matures each month. But that is a consistent theme that I have remembered now. Overgrowth, the multi-gear cannon, as well as a scatter shot and a multi-arch tower, I think is an expo as well. Dropping the second overgrowth in that same area, just allowing the army to get through all of the other buildings before dealing with that last bit of damage. I'm going to speed up through the rest of this. It is really crushed. He has a lot to deal with this last little area here. So GG's Nero. Moving on to attack number 4. We have Hustler. Hustler is going to allow us a bit of a break from the monotony of all of the Hydra attacks. We do have rocket balloon super minions. So looking for a quick and easy fireball off the gate. He does get the CC, so that is, I'm sure, the main target there. That's always tricky for again, me to figure out whether or not it is going to draw out the CC or not, but very well executed there. We have rocket balloons coming in to support the warden, trying to get through some of these damaged buildings so that there is no risk of him going down. I am curious to see what he targets for the giant arrow backpack combo. If it was me, I would be targeting that core. That is Rage and Viz, so if you can get both of those down, it does, limit the risk of you, having that dreaded 1-star. But this is quite a bit of late. Earthquakes come through. There's the backpack coming across, giant arrow as well. So I think he did get both of them. The Rage and the Invis in the core is going to be a non-factor. So that takes out, for the most part, a raged up logger, although, he's not going to aggro on anything, I would imagine, until that rage effect has worn off. So GG's on that Hustler. That was great execution on the fireball, I would say, as well as the giant arrow and the rocket backpack. The Revenge Tower is the only really scary piece that I was wondering about, and it's instantly gone by the Royal Champion shield. So, this was one of the better rocket balloon super minion attacks that I remember. So GG's Hustler. I'm going to speed through the rest a little bit of this, but it's absolutely crushed. Moving on to base number 5. We have AFAC. He is using the Super Bowlers. So again, we get another break from Hydra, which is always nice. That is clearly our clan's preferred attack strategy. So anytime I can do a review of a replay that is not Hydra at this point, it is a breath of fresh air. Although I may not understand the attack as much, it is interesting to see how the plan comes about. So we do have a Duke charge leading off here. Just trying to create that funnel, I'm sure, for those Super Bowlers. It is absolutely critical that you get those into the middle of the base, or you are going to have a rough time. Headhunters come out. I don't know how much more value we're going to get on this Duke charge. And what was the equipment there? Interesting. Okay, so waiting for the next phase of this attack. We have a baby dragon, again, trying to help out with that funnel. 2 super wall breakers come in for the 2 entry points. We have the king coming down, ice golem. So that's going to be the start, and the entry point of the Super Bowlers. Here they come. We do have the king is going to clear that right side fairly well, and hopefully there was enough on that left side to keep the army from straying a bit. The Super Bowlers are in just about the core. We see the torch ability from the Warden coming off. The Fire Spitters are going to be quite a bit of a problem. I would imagine we need to keep those raged up so the bounces can go on to the Fire Spitters. And it does look like they are, they went there pretty quickly, which was exactly what AFAC needed. This is looking really good on my end. I was a little bit confused on what happened with the death damage of the Duke. Maybe I just missed it, but it didn't seem like there was that typical explosion that I would expect from the heart. So, yeah, once again, AFAC, this is really crushed. GG's. We'll move on to attack 6 here shortly. Attack number 6 is Lana with Super Bowlers. We have the Royal Champion starting off the funnel this time. It is going to be a little mini RC charge. That is not something that I have seen too much of recently. Alright, so the RC is trying to get as much funnel value as possible for that Super Bowler entry. Because the RC only targets defenses, it is going to be necessary, I would imagine, to clean up these trash buildings now. The CC was lured. It does look like witches, so that is going to be a little bit of a problem. She does have a poison, so that is going to be helpful. We'll want to get those bunched up so that the poison provides the most value. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit of time. And then curious to see how the rest of this funnel is set. Looks like, okay, the Ice Golem comes through, so we are going to be entering right around 9 o'clock. Duke and King are going to set that top side funnel. Okay. And now looking back, we can see that the appropriate number of trash buildings were cleared on that bottom side so that the bowlers would enter directly into the base. They're going to be in the core here very shortly. We'll use the torch when it is appropriate, and that is now. We have them absolutely going through the core of this base, and a little bit of a slow start. I didn't really know what direction it was going to be headed, but now that I see it play out, it was a really well executed attack. I would hope that we could have distracted that logger a little bit, because it is going to stay up. Okay, the town hall finally does go down by the king. King is going to need to get that logger down, which I'm sure he is going to. Maybe not, though. Troop launcher is throwing them all over there by the bowlers. King does go down. Logger is still up, but I don't think that there's any reason to need to get the logger down now that the base is done, right? So didn't ever get the logger down. Doesn't matter. And another 3-star attack by Lana. GG's. All right, moving on to base 7. We have Shaken. So monsters all, this is going to be another Hydra attack, and here is kind of almost that similar base design that I was talking about, where you have that exposed town hall there in that 1 to 2 o'clock time frame. We do not have the raged up fire spitters for this one as well. Looking at his strategy, we saw the backpack come through, giant arrow went off, and we have the dragons and the dragon riders going right at the town hall. So a little bit of an interesting funnel, just from my perspective here, where we don't necessarily have, Queen at 12 o'clock, Dragon Duke at 3 o'clock, and dumping the army in between those two. This is a much wider funnel here on this attack. So will be interesting to see how it all plays out and how effective this strategy was. But just wanted to call out that this was not necessarily the cookie cutter Hydra attack that you typically see. So both overgrowths come down. We had the first one attach itself to the monolith and that topside fire spitter. Second one was dropped quite a bit later and targeting that revenge tower compartment there. So we can see that the first one is already worn off. Giant does knock out that fire spitter, which is going to be very, very helpful, I'm sure. We're only down to 1 freeze, and there it is dropped, so no additional spell support for the rest of this attack. I am going to speed it up just a little bit because it does look fairly crushed, but it was an interesting strategy in keeping the queen and the duke so far apart, basically not having the ability to set up a true effective funnel. But nonetheless, GG's monster on another 3-star. Moving on to attack number 8, we have Speedy. This is going to be another Rocket Balloon Super Minions attack, which I'm sure I've said this so many times at this point. It's a very exciting attack to watch. I personally have no business trying to execute this, and that is perfectly fine. So I'll continue sitting on the sidelines watching this attack strategy, enjoying the replays, but I do not plan on putting this in my tool belt. Looking for that fireball. Nothing is sticking out to me other than, the scattershot compartment looks like it would provide a bit of value. I don't know how much more effort or time you would want to put into the fireball component of this attack. So we'll see. We'll see what Hustler does here. Rocket Balloon's going to take out the air defenses over there. All right, so yeah, just the multi-archer tower. He should get the scattershot and the multi down, as well as that poison tower. Moving on to looking for the rocket backpack and the giant arrow value. The CC and the revenge tower would be really nice to be able to get. That is, I did guess right. All right, so both of those things go down. Very well executed again. Hustler on the fireball, getting the value that you wanted. Giant arrow and rocket backpack getting the value you wanted there. So really nicely well done. You can see basically the whole right half of the base is completely demolished at this point. We only have a minute left on the replay. Furnaces come down, and this is looking really good from an opening perspective. We'll see how the rest of the attack ends up looking and how dicey it got, but the RC has yet to be dropped, so I'm curious to see if he tries to swag that hero once again. He doesn't. So he wanted to play it safe, or he was running short on time in his personal life. He went ahead and dropped the RC. I'm not sure that he in fact needed that, but anyway, GG's Hustler. We'll move on to the next one here shortly. All right, base 9. We have Ayush coming in. This is a Hydra attack. We do have 3 earthquakes. So going for Revenge Tower and the CC. We'll see if it is successful. Looks really good to me. So got that down, as well as the Hero Hall, which is always an annoying building to deal with. So way too many hit points on that building from my perspective. Okay, so not sure exactly right now where the entry point for the main army is going to be. It is going to be to the left of the queen, which makes sense. Early freeze coming for that sweeper. Okay. We are going opposite of Town Hall. Warden ability coming through, getting ready for that rage compartment. The Dragon Duke is going to set off that rage compartment on the top side, I would hope, any second. He is going to have to battle that sweeper, though. Main army is coming through. First rage tower, monolith would like to be distracted along with the logger. There's the totem to do that. Okay, everything is looking really smooth. We overgrowth the topside rage compartment, allow the army to focus on all of those other buildings. Dragon Duke did go down. I would go ahead and revive him immediately. There's no reason to delay that. I know, maybe the Phoenix is causing him to lose out on that boost that he gets, but everything is overgrowth. We are at a point where there's no damage that could be concerning to the Duke, so he did do the revive there shortly. I would have done it instantly personally, but anyways, GG's Ayush. Smash this. Moving on to base 10. Base 10 attacked by Rockstar. So we have another Super Bowlers attack. All right. Dragon Charge to start. Going right at the monolith, which is always terrifying for me personally when I have tried to do this previously. You do have to time your invises very, very well, or your Duke value is going to be limited. So, a couple of misses, but did recover. Spirit Fox is now down. He should be able to take out that monolith no problem, and does. All right, so this is doing a good job at clearing that 9 o'clock area for the most part, yeah. And then we have the giant arrow come through, and he's going to enter in between 9 and 12. Okay, so Super Bowlers are now entering. As long as the king does enough of it. Oh, he didn't really go to that pet house, which is what I would have preferred if it was my attack. He did set one of the bowlers up there in between 12 and 3 to clear those trash buildings, and I think that was a very, very good decision by him, just to make sure that the core army did not get distracted and go where they did not need to go. Warden ability comes off. We see the rages coming down. You're in the core. That means you have done at least something right. I do see witches in the CC, and as well as an ice golem, so that's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. I don't know if I don't see a poison that came down or in his bar of availability, but overall, great job, Rockstar. I really liked the Super Bowler placed around like 1 o'clock to make sure that you got the funnel set up there, because the king didn't go to the pet house. So GG's. I'm going to speed up through the rest of this. We'll move on to the next attack here shortly. All right, moving on to base 11. We have Burr. Burr is using Hydra. 1 earthquake. Is this a flame blower? It is. It's a flame blower attack. So I'm gonna go for the rage compartment right there. If I was him, does get that down, as well as the multi inferno, and I can't remember what that other building was, but we'll see how this plays out. Flame blower takes away the heart for me, and at this point, that is a little bit of a security blanket. I do love the healing that the heart provides, as well as the death damage. The death damage is kind of one that isn't talked about a lot, but it does provide an insane amount of value, and in the right place, it can take out an air defense. I mean, it can take out the rest of a lot of the high HP defenses. So I'm not a fan, for the most part, of getting rid of the heart, but he did go with that attack strategy here. It did pay off. There's the overgrowth for that fire spitter, which is what I was looking for. He got the revenge tower as well. That is pushing the overgrowth to the max right there, but very, very well placed. You got the air defense, the fire spitter, as well as the revenge tower. Very, very nicely placed overgrowth. This base is very much crushed, and I'm going to go ahead and speed up through the rest of this. GG's, Burr. Would have liked to place a totem at that revenge tower if it was me. There it comes in late, but yeah, I would have hit that a little bit later, or a little bit earlier. Moving on to base number 12, we have Burr's other account, Blessing. All right, so is this another flame blower? It is. Did we drop the... okay, we do get the CC. It was kind of lured though, so I'm not exactly sure how much value that provided at the end of the day. Anyway, we saw the queen come down, the giant arrow get activated. We have the army dump in between 9 and 6. So this is your typical, what I would call Hydra strategy, where you have Duke on one side, Queen on the other, and then the army in the middle. We made our way to the core very, very quickly. The rage comes down. I'm not exactly sure what is holding up the army right there, but something definitely was. We see them finally now pushing through the rest of the base. The overgrowth comes in for the backside fire spitter, and this is looking really nice. Really nice. I'm going to speed up now. Yeah, very, very well done. Moving on to base 13. Base 13, hit by Jordan. Alright, we have another Hydra attack. Let's see if there's anything interesting from an equipment perspective. Looking very standard. Okay. It was Fangs, but this does not start with a Duke charge. And we have something alternative to the strategy that I just talked about. We have Dragon, Duke, and Queen basically placed on top of each other to clear one complete side of the base so that the army can then take the other side. This is not personally my preferred approach, because it does sometimes lead to not ideal pathing, but it does appear to be working very nicely for Jordan on this attack. That revenge tower needs to go down as fast as possible. An interesting overgrowth to kind of correct the pathing of the main army there. And that's what I was kind of talking about, is if you don't go with the Duke on one side, Queen on the other, you can really limit your ability sometimes to control the pathing throughout the base. And I think that that's why that overgrowth had to come in there right at the 2 o'clock range. And that was a very nice recovery, if I'm being honest, because it did allow immediate correction for the pathing that I don't know if it necessarily was required in order to 3-star this base, but for you to feel really good about the attack, I think it did do a lot. So GG's Jordan. We'll move on to the next one. All right, moving on to base 14. We have Boris attacking with Hydra. See what the opening is. Okay, Duke enters around 4 o'clock. We have a baby drag attacking the gold storage. He is moving very fast down toward 6 o'clock. So clearing a lot of the trash buildings. It is going to be interesting to see where he sets the other side of this funnel, because he has moved all the way from the top to the bottom side. He did get the rage tower down. Monolith is now attacking the Duke. The Invises do come down now. Okay, very, very interesting journey this Dragon Duke has taken. Not exactly sure if this was to plan. We'll see where the Queen and the rest of the army come in. Did eventually get a lot of nice value in between like 5 and 6 o'clock. we see the queen come in at 3, and the main army now coming in at 4 o'clock. So just about all of the entry points were in that 4 o'clock zone. It is a fairly nice pathing situation now that the dust has settled. The minion prince ability comes in for the monolith. We have a warden ability to get through this town hall area. It does go down. Backside overgrowth for the fire spitter. Revenge tower will need to be distracted once the army comes into range. And I would revive the Duke any second. So totem does come for the revenge tower. It does go down. This is looking really nice. So interesting opening. Again, I'm not exactly sure if that was Boris's plan all along for the Duke to make that path all the way from basically 3 o'clock down 6 o'clock, turning upward. But it worked out. GG's. Moving on to the final attack of the war, we have Lunar hitting base 15. This is another Hydra attack. We do have 5 earthquakes coming in, so this is potentially going to be giant arrow backpack combo. So yeah, trying to get out as much as possible from the core. Very nicely hit. Not exactly sure why that revenge tower and CC did not go down. That is unfortunate. Did get quite a bit of the other buildings that were around that area, but I am really, maybe he misplaced the earthquakes. I'm not exactly sure, but would have been nice to see the CC and the revenge tower go down. That being said, we do have a fairly beautiful funnel that has been created from the Queen and the Dragon Duke. Warden ability comes in to try to get through that town hall area. Revenge tower does go down now. I think it was very low HP, like I said, because of the giant arrow and backpack combo, and the builders were too busy repairing the CC. So this is absolutely smashed at this point. GG's, Lunar. Again, I'm not exactly sure why you didn't get all of the value that I would have expected there at the beginning from your opening, but nonetheless, great attack. GG's. And that wraps up day number 5 for CWL. I will have the remaining wars up over the next several days, so just be patient. But once again, thanks everybody for watching, and thanks to everyone in the clan for executing on a perfect war. We'll see you next time.